a great badge of honor because, thank you very much, I am being indicted for you. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. It's always a little tough. I call Ivanka. Hello, Ivanka. Anybody ever hear of Ivanka? Nice person. Beautiful, nice person. Hello, Ivanka. Listen, your daddy's going to be indicted today at 6 o'clock. I didn't want you to see it in the news. I didn't want you to. I go back. I see our great First Lady. I say, First Lady. I call First Lady. Just kidding. They'll say, no, headline. He calls her First Lady. What kind of a relationship is that? But she's great. She's so popular. People love her. The style, the beauty. The beauty, the style. You're not allowed to talk about beauty, so let's leave that out. If you say beauty, you immediately lose the election. But the style, the beauty, the whole package. But they love her. I say, darling, today at 5 o'clock I'll be indicted. And she actually said, again? That's pretty cool, right? Again? How many times? Now I'm the only one that goes up in the polls every time I get indicted. You know, Alphonse Capone. Did anybody ever hear of Al Capone, the great gangster? He would kill you if he didn't like you at dinner. He would just, you know, you'd be dead. You're gone. And he only got indicted once. Okay? I've been indicted 4 times. I think I have a record for most indictments quickly. Considering I never had a problem in my whole life, it's like a record. Most indictments within a 15-minute period. All phony deals, too. How about the one in Georgia? How about that phony one? How about the one in New York? She values Mar-a-Lago at $18 million, and she convinces the judge. Now, you don't know what Mar-a-Lago is, but you sort of do. So some people say it's worth 100 times that number. She values it at $18 million. And I said, there's something wrong here. And everybody said that. And it's probably could be $1 billion, $1.5 billion, could be more than that. So it could be 100 times that amount. These are crooked people. This is election interference. These are very dishonest people. And she has a judge who's a radical left judge, and, you know, and I don't get a jury. So even if I had a tough jury, I'd win. But I'm not allowed to have a jury. Nothing to do with checking a box. You know what that did? Or said, oh, the lawyer. No, you can't check a box. There's no box to check. They did it under a Consumer Frauds Act. Can you believe this? Where I did everything right, built this great company, and now they find out that the company's worth much more than the financial statement. And they found out I have what's called a disclaimer clause. It's a little complicated, but not too complicated. There was no fraud. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. And they've been totally discredited, and it's a disgrace that a thing like that can go on. It's election interference. Never forget, our enemies want to stop us because we are the only ones who can stop them. We're the only ones. And if we don't win this election, our country is finished, I hate to tell you. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. I will not let it happen. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. And in the end, and this is so true, they're not after me, they're after you, and I just happen to be standing in their way. I'm standing in their way. Thank you. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun up here, standing in their way. But this is not just a campaign. This is a movement. There's never been anything like this in history. You know, I tell about Pat Buchanan, who was a great guy, but he came in, I believe, second in New Hampshire.
This simple line of code can increase your ad sales by 50 to 100% instantly. No changes in your business. I can prove
it. We came in first in every state, and the islands. You know, the islands count too. And it's an incredible thing. The level, so we ran twice, we won twice. The level of enthusiasm now blows 16 and blows 20 away. Because now you're fighting for your lives. You know, you're really fighting for your lives in a true sense. Together we created the most secure border in U.S. history and built nearly 500 miles of border wall. We actually built 561, as I understand it. It's a lot. How about sloppy Chris Christie? Says he only built 50 miles of border wall. Because if there's a board laying on the ground from 50 years ago that's rotted, and we put up this gorgeous, big, brand new thing, they say, oh, well, that's a renovation. And they had boards all over the place, you know, just rotting in the sand. But what a loser he is, by the way. He suffers from Trump derangement syndrome, worse, I think maybe worse than any Democrat. What do you think of the economy? I don't like Donald Trump. It's Trump derangement syndrome, Ashley. We completely finished our original plan and then added even more wall. We built much more. We added much more. It would have gone up within 3 weeks. It was all there. You see it there. And then I hear they're selling it now for 5 cents on the dollar, 5 cents. It's all steel, a very special steel, concrete, and then rebar inside. Inside those bars are concrete and then rebar, very hardened steel. I wanted to use concrete plank. I'm a really good builder. That was what I did the best. Maybe I still, probably do that better than politics, come to think of it. But I'm good at it, and you know, no. So that's what I wanted. And they said, no, sir, it has to be steel, and you have to be able to see through it. You have to be able to see people coming with the drugs and everything else. I understood. And I gave them exactly what they want. Even the panel on top, it's called an anti-climb panel. You know this? I don't love it. Architecturally, I don't love it, but it works. You know, we had mountain climbers, and we had drug dealers. We have guys that can put 60, 70 pounds on their back and climb up these things like a guy like that. See that handsome guy? Are you with him? This kid is so good looking. Look at him. How old are you? How old are you? 13. You are a handsome little devil. So, but they have guys, and they climb up a wall with drugs on their back, and we had all the best guys. Half of them came out of prisons, you know, would say, come on with us, we want to, and they couldn't get by the anti-climb panel. So, you know, it's very important. I just want to let you know why, because I loved it without that panel, but it really is very effective. Anti-climb panel. But we did it, and we built the wall at the rate of 1 mile every 24 hours. And we would have had the whole thing finished. We built, I said I was going to build 400 miles. I built 561 miles, and we would have had another 200. I added 200 at the end, and all the panels were there. Those are the ones that you see rotting in the sand, and those are the ones you see, they want to sell them. But then the other day, Biden goes out, and, you know, if he would have gone to the beach and just left everything alone, if he left our oil alone, he's got a consultant, you know, these are all consultants. He's got a consultant that thinks he's very good looking in a bathing suit. This consultant thinks it's a good look for him to be at a beach at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I don't think that looks too good, Matt, right? You know, we want somebody that works a little bit like I worked hard. But, you know, we want a working president. Also, when you can't get your feet out of the sand, and you can't lift, you know, those chairs are a miracle because they're fairly large, and you can lift them like this, right? And he could barely lift them. Just like, this is not a good look. But if he would have gone to the beach and left the border alone, and left inflation alone, and left the economy alone, all that, he would have gone down as a great president instead of the worst president in the history of our country. Now the fake news is actually trying to give Crooked Joe credit for announcing they will build 20 miles of wall. 20 miles. He'll get more credit if he ever gets it done, which I doubt. Did you see the wall? It's like a portable, terrible-looking wall. I think I could climb over the wall that they're looking to build with a little help. I think I could climb over it. Terrible. It's 20 miles long. If he gets it done, they'll say he did a better job than Trump. Because that's the way it is. Because the fake news are a big part. There are a lot of people back there, a lot of cameras. I see those lights going. You know, anytime I'm ready to talk about like CNN, they know it. They've got very good at this. I watch that red light go off like in 2 seconds. It's off. The light goes off. But they're using funds, and he's saying that he was legally required to spend. He had to do it. He had to do it. He had no choice. He had to do it. But all the other things he didn't have to do where he destroyed our country. So it's just one of those things. He's doing it, he said, because he's afraid of being impeached. I said, what's so bad about impeachment? I got impeached twice, and my poll numbers went up. The difference is he should be impeached. He's bad. He's bad. I got impeached over a phone call, right? I got impeached over a phone call, which turned out to be perfect. It was perfect. I called it. I called how crooked everything was, but it was mostly a phone call to congratulate a brand new president at that point, Zelensky, nice guy, to congratulate him on winning his thing. That was, I got impeached for that. And here's a guy steals tens of millions of dollars and they don't impeach him. But let's see what happens. If you want a president who leaves $500 million worth of wall materials to rust on the desert floor, while illegal aliens stampede over them, they walk right over those panels. They're laying dead on the floor, rotting and rusting. If you want that in your communities, then you should immediately get up and vote for crooked Joe Biden. Does anybody want to vote for Biden in this audience? You know. I'm glad you said that. It would be probably dangerous. If we could have some danger, somebody, well, I'd like to. If you want a president who will seal the border, stop the invasion, and reclaim our sovereignty on day one, then you must vote for President Donald J. Trump. Right? And, you know, if you think about it, crooked Joe Biden has three major problems, and they all begin with the letter I: inflation, immigration, and incompetence. You know, very simple. I sort of like that line. And when I said Mexico will pay for the wall, they did, because they supplied us with 28,000 soldiers at our border free of charge. You ever notice there was no legal mechanism? How do you get somebody to give you a check for you building a wall? But I said to the president, I said, you got to give us 28,000 soldiers. No, 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 no. I won't do that. And I said, well, you got to. I'm sorry. Otherwise, we're going to have to do something. No, 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 we will not do that. I said, one other thing you have to give us. You have to give us a policy, stay in Mexico. In other words, nobody can come in. They have to stay in Tijuana, lovely city. They have to stay in Tijuana. Hundreds of thousands of people. No, 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 we will not do that. The other thing you have to give us, catch and release. I want to release them, too. You catch them, release.
EVE Online on Mac immerses you in a universe with thousands of star systems like never before. Follow
Couple of times, dealt with a wonderful woman at the State Department. I said, I want them to give us 28,000 soldiers. I want to get rid of catch and release. I want to release them in Mexico. And I want to stay in Mexico and other things, right? And I want other things. And she said, very good woman. She said, sir, I've been asking for these things for 25 years. I've been in charge. They will not do that. So the head guy comes in, top guy. I said, this is what I want. I want 28,000 soldiers. I want catch and release. I want all of these things. And by the way, 7 other things that are almost as bad. No, we will not do that. He looked at me like, am I dealing with a fool? I said, oh, you will do that. 100% you'll do that. No, 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 I will. 100%. Let me make you a bet that you will approve this. No, no, no. I said, let me tell you, if you don't approve it, this was a Friday, on Monday morning at 7 o'clock, I'm imposing a 25% tariff on all of the cars that you stole from us for the last 35 years. Every car coming into the United States will have a tax or a tariff put on it of 25%. And every other item coming into the United States will have a tax put on of 25%. So anything coming into the United States, which is hundreds of billions of dollars, will have a tax of 25% starting on Monday morning at 7 o'clock. And here's the document. And I signed it before your very eyes. He said, Mr. President, may I have 5 minutes? I would like to go back and make a call. And he did make a call to the president, who I have a lot of respect for, by the way, of Mexico. He's a friend of mine. He's great. He's a socialist, but you can't have everything. But he's great. And he's popular. He's a very good guy. But he comes back, sir, I am pleased to inform you that we would love to give you 28,000. We would love to take MS-13 gang members back into our country. It would be a great honor to have 28,000 soldiers guard your border. I said, free of charge. Yes, sir, absolutely free. We would never want anything, because the money we're talking about is like 10 times. So with all those idiots that say Trump didn't get anything for the wall, let them know we got 28,000 soldiers free of charge, plus plenty of other things. We appointed over 300 federal judges and 3 great Supreme Court judges. And I stood proudly with our friend and ally, the state of Israel. And I will do it again. You heard about today the Hamas Hamas terrorist invasion. I mean, when you think about, and what do you think of Hamas? What do you think? Do you know about Hamas? The terror invasion of Israeli territory and the murder of Israeli soldiers and citizens is an act of savagery that must be and will be crushed and avenged, has to be crushed. Israel's at war, and the United States has to support Israel. We have to support Israel. There's been no better president for Israel than me. And nobody loves Israel more than the evangelical Christians, I will tell you that. This war happened for two reasons. The United States giving Iran $6 billion. How about that deal? We get 5 terrorists, they get 5 terrorists, or we get 5 prisoners, they get 5 prisoners. Call them whatever you want. 5 and 5, okay. I'm sure it wasn't a good deal because, like in the case of Russia, one of the people they got back was the leading arms dealer in the history of the world. Okay? Leading arms dealer in the history of the world. He's going out now purchasing arms for Russia. Very good trade they made. I'm sure our trade was likewise. But they added one little caveat. Plus we get, for them, $6 billion. So we get 5, and they get 5. Sounds good. And they also get $6 billion. And our country's perceived weakness and an incompetent and corrupt leader, Joe Biden, who's laughed at all over the world. He's laughed at all over the world. People can't believe this is happening. President Xi, who is so smart, so many of these people, they look, they have a meeting, and they say, this can't be happening. The guy doesn't have a clue. And I predicted the war. A lot of the newspapers, thank you very much, fellas, they've been very generous to me. I predicted war in Israel immediately after it was announced that Joe Biden gave the $6 billion to Iran. They got so much money. At this time, Israel and the United States need a very strong partnership and leadership. I got to have strong leaders. You don't have strong leaders, it doesn't matter how many army tanks you have. In addition to the billions of dollars given to Hamas, top funder Iran, Joe Biden restored hundreds of millions of dollars to the very corrupt Palestinian entities. He gave them hundreds of millions of dollars. Many people didn't even know it. Wonder what deal he made. Joe Biden betrayed Israel. He betrayed our country. As president, I will once again stand with Israel, and we will cut off the money to Palestinian terrorists on day one. We'll cut it off on day one. And Biden and Obama were terrible to Israel because they begged him. Bibi Netanyahu came here, begged Obama, begged him, please, sir. I mean, he literally, the way he was talking, it was the craziest thing. He was begging him, don't do the Iran nuclear deal. I ended it, and if we had our administration, we would have had a deal with Iran already. It would have been a good deal. They wouldn't have had a nuclear weapon. Now they're 3 months away from having a nuclear weapon. And once they have a nuclear weapon, the conversations become much more difficult. This guy, this poor, sad sack of a president that we have, will lead us into World War III, 100%. I've made and I hope that's a prediction that I'm wrong on. But we've never been closer. We've never been closer than we are right now. And he tweaks the wrong people at the wrong time. He says the wrong thing at the wrong time. If he says anything at all, he's not respected at all. It's a disgrace. They spend all their money with the DOJ on screwing opponents. That's what they do. That's all they're good at. You are closer to World War III, and I can say this, if I'm elected, I'm the only one that can say it, you will never have World War III. You will not have World War III. Less than 4 years ago, we had the historic Abraham Accords, which everyone said, when will you get your Nobel Peace Prize? Should have. I had 5 things I should have gotten a Nobel Prize, but I said, I'm not going to get one. They gave one to Obama when he got elected. 2 weeks later, they got elected. He didn't. Why did I get it? Does anyone know? He didn't even do anything. He didn't do too much after that either. But today, think of it. So just a short time ago, we did the historic Abraham Accords, and today we have the exact opposite, a major attack on Israel. What a difference a president makes, right? What a difference a president makes. As president, I also kept my promise to recognize Israel's eternal capital and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem and got it built. I actually got it built. It's going to cost $2 billion. I did it for $500,000. You know that story. I also recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights, something that they've been working on for 58 years. They never got it done. I got it done. And I withdrew the United States from the disastrous.
Are you interested in wholesaling or flipping abandoned homes but don't have time to drive for dollars? With Thatch Leads, you can build an abandoned property lead
Before, and I am the only candidate in this race that will save America once again. We're going to save America because we have no choice. We have no choice. So here's just some of what we'll do when we become, we, all of us together, because this is a we effort. We become the 47th President of the United States of America. I will totally obliterate the deep state, stop the weaponization of our government, and overhaul the corrupt FBI and the very corrupt DOJ from the ground up. In the meantime, I'll keep fighting them off. On my first day back in the White House, I will terminate every open borders policy of the Biden administration and begin the largest deportation operation in American history. No country can sustain what they're putting us through. And we'll start with the bad ones. And you know who knows the bad ones? Our police forces, our local police forces. They know them all, and they know them by name. I will also use Title 42 to end the child trafficking crisis by returning all trafficked children to their families in their home countries, and we'll do that immediately. Sarah, terrible situation. On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and any other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content on our children. I will not give one penny to any school that has a vaccine mandate or a mask mandate. And as I said a little while ago, I will keep men out of women's sports. We will do that. Doesn't that sound like a very easy one? I can't even believe they give me thunderous applause. I will keep men out of women. And I say, can you believe I'm even saying this? It's almost easy to be a politician now. You have things that are just so ridiculous, right? Just as I did for 4 years, I will fully uphold the Second Amendment. We will restore free speech, and I will secure our elections, totally secure. Our goal will be one-day voting with paper ballots and voter ID, right? One-day voting, not 48 days, not 62 days. They have thousands of ballots lying all over the floors. Get me some more ballots. Where are they? They're on the floor over in the corner. They take a tractor, they scoop them up, and they drop the whole thing. But until then, Republicans must compete and we must win. So in conclusion, this is what we must do to restore our country to greatness. The USA is a mess. Our economy is crashing. Inflation is out of control. China, Russia, Iran, North Korea have formed together as a menacing and destructive coalition. Our currency is crashing and will soon no longer be the world standard, which will be the single greatest defeat that we've had in over 200 years. That will be a disaster, and it's happening. But it won't happen with me, not even a chance. Just like Russia would never have invaded Ukraine and China would not be even having a thought about raiding Taiwan, not even a thought. And we would have left Afghanistan with dignity and strength. I'm the one that got it down to 2,500 people after 21 years. But I would have kept Bagram, the biggest military base, Air Force in the world, the biggest runways, most powerful runways in the world, 20,000 feet long, 8 feet thick, can carry anything. But not because of Afghanistan, but because of China, because that's where China, 1 hour away is where China makes its nuclear weapons. And you know who's occupying Bagram right now? China. They took it over. We built it, spent billions of dollars many years ago. And that's our greatest embarrassment, in my opinion, the greatest embarrassment in the history of our country, what happened with Afghanistan. Do you know that I spoke to the leader of the Taliban, And I said, Abdul, you're killing our people. You're not going to kill them any longer. Very rough conversation. Call me Your Excellency. Yes, Your Excellency, yes. And the press went crazy when they heard I called him. In fact, I invited him over to the White House, but what he did is he killed 3 or 4 people to show that he was leading with strength, so I canceled the meeting. I mean, he actually killed. Remember that? He killed 4 people just before leaving. I said, cancel the meeting. He wanted to show that he's dealing from strength. This is a whole different deal. These people are. It's a whole different deal. But I said, Abdul, if you do anything, we're going to hit you harder than any country has ever been hit before. But why do you send me a picture of my home? He asked me. I said, Abdul, you'll have to ask other people that question. But you'll be hit harder than anybody's ever been hit by our country. From that moment on, we didn't lose one soldier. 18 months, not one soldier in Afghanistan. Not one soldier was hurt or shot at. Nobody was shot at. Nobody was hurt. Then we had a rigged election. I got out. This total incompetent person took over. And they left from the wrong airport. They should have left from Bagram. We have miles and miles of territory around it. It's a real fort. They said they'd leave from this little thing where the people went crazy. But they should have left from Bagram. But they should have left with dignity. They should have left with strength. We were so strong. The Taliban had a fear of the F-16. Those F-16s would come roaring over their heads, and they just said, get me the hell out of here. And now they own those F-16s. They took them. This person allowed them to take them. And I said, when we get out, we take every screw, every bolt. We take every little tent. We take all the big tents. We take the Army tanks, the planes. We take everything. And I had a couple of guys, like this guy, Millie. What a stupid person he is. Millie, no, he's a stupid. Sir, he said to me, it's cheaper to leave the equipment than it is to take it. I said, let me ask you something, Millie. So we have a $100 million, $150 million airplane. We fill it up with a little tank of gas. We fly it to Pakistan, or we fly it home. You think it's cheaper to leave it? Yes, sir, I think it's cheaper. So I know where Biden got the idea from these people. They're stupid people. You know, we have great military, like I defeated ISIS. Everyone said you couldn't defeat. I did it very quickly. I did that with great generals, but not the guys you see on television. We defeated ISIS, and we did things that nobody thought were possible. Our military is great, but our leadership at the top, and especially the television guys, are terrible. But we have unbelievable generals. We have some amazing people. Our military is great. But what happened in Afghanistan is the single most embarrassing day in the history of our country, and it's why Putin went into Ukraine, because he said, these people are weak and they're stupid. They're weak and they're stupid. He would have never gone into Ukraine. If you took the 5 worst presidents, and I say this all the time, but I think now I'll change it. You could take the 10 worst presidents. They wouldn't have done the damage that crooked Joe Biden has done. What the damage he's done to this country, and he's doing bigger damage with his election stuff.
Now, artificial intelligence can generate ad creatives automatically. The program is called Ad Creative AI, and it helps marketers generate high-quality ad creatives really fast. Here's how it works. First, you input your brand. Then you choose your creative format.
Then she said, oh, yes, I could be impartial. She's a lunatic. And she's pushing the judge around. The judge, I actually think the judge could be fair. He's very ultra-left, but I think he could. But she's pushing the judge around into doing really foolish things. And we had a great ruling yesterday from the appeals courts and all. But she's pushing the judge around, and it's a disgrace. We're a failing nation. We're a nation in decline, very serious decline. Who would have thought this? And now these radical left, crazy people want to interfere with our elections by using that same law enforcement that we've been talking about. It's totally corrupt, and we can't let it happen. If you want to save America from crooked Joe Biden and the radical left, then every patriot you know, you have to make sure you go out and register Republican. You have a very big, powerful election coming up. It's called a caucus here. And get them out to vote in their local precincts. And you have to get out and vote 7 p.m. on Monday, January 15th. Local caucus. We're asking you to commit to caucus and bring 5 or 7 or 10 people, bring as many people as you can, because we have to win big. Now, this is just the primary, and I think we're in great shape in the primary, but it sets a tone for the general election. And in the state, I think, I don't want to sound again like I was telling you before, but I think we're in great shape. But it sets a tone. It's very important. Sign up at ia.donaldjtrump.com and get involved. So 2024 is our final battle. It really is. It's our final battle. We've got to win it. If we don't win it, I'm not sure there's a battle left. I'm not sure you can take, if you look at countries that have gone bad, I used to say in 2016 and a little bit in 2024 that we will not be a socialist country. Remember, we will not be a socialist country. And I did it in front of Congress, State of the Union. We will not be. And I was right, because we skipped socialism. We're into communism, fascism, and Marxism. With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will expel the warmongers, the people that love to go to these countries and blow the countries up. And we'll get them out of our government. We'll drive out the globalists. We'll cast out the communists, Marxists, and fascists, and we'll throw off the sick political class that hates our country. We will rout the fake news media. They've got to rout them until they do their job properly. They're supposed to be like the police. They're supposed to watch over corruption, but they're more corrupt than anybody there is. And that's why their approval rating, I'm very proud to say, during my time, it was at an all-time high before I got elected, because people didn't know them. And now it's at the lowest it's ever been. It's lower than Congress. Can you believe that? I'm extremely pleased to tell you that I was responsible for that. But they have to clean up their act, because nobody believes them. That's why their ratings are all going down the tubes. That's why nobody buys any of their stuff. You take a look at CNN, it's got no ratings. Oh, the red light just went off. Okay, turn it on, I'm finished with you. MSNBC is a horror show. It's just an absolute horror show. And people have just lost tremendous respect. Fox is way down too, by the way. 35 points down, because people feel they're just not like the old Fox. They're just not like the old Fox, and we all know what that means. But we will evict Joe Biden from the White House, and we will finish the job once and for all. The great silent majority is rising like never before, and under our leadership, the forgotten man and woman will be forgotten no longer. With your help, your love, and your vote, we will put America first, and we will quickly and strongly make America great again. Thank you. Thank you, Iowa. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you very much. What a nice crowd. A lot of people outside, too, trying to get in. I want to thank you very much. This has been a great place for me and for you and for all of us together. We came here together. Cedar Rapids, thank you very much. Great to be back here and great to be back in Iowa. Great. You are just 100 days away from the